Hello there and welcome to another weekly update. I'm at the Tech Summit in Birmingham, the Microsoft Tech Summit. It's a 2-day event, loads of sessions, some exhibitors, breakouts. Scott Guthrie is here doing his red shirt tour. There's loads and loads going on. It's a really good place to come and get your questions answered, as well as catch up on some of the stuff that's new and in the Microsoft world and see what's going on. And it's good to connect with people as well. There's a lot of Microsoft staff here as well, so it's a really good event. It's replicated around the world, so check out and see if there's a tech summit coming to a city near you, and if there is, register. It's free to register, and I'm going to do a sort of more of a full video all about the last 2 days here. But for the weekly update, there's a couple of things to cover off this week that have happened. A couple of new features into Microsoft Teams this week. So one of them is being able to add hyperlinks into messages, which is a nice, useful feature. And then the other one is the ability to hide chats. So the chats that you're having, the one-on-one chats that you're having either with people or with bots, and this is where it comes in useful for developers. Those chats you're having with bots, you can click the little ellipsis and you can now hide them. That's useful because if you're developing lots of bots, you've probably got lots of kind of test bots that you've tried, demo bots to show stuff to people, and they kind of sit around in your chat window. So it's useful to be able to remove them, kind of clear it up a little bit, prune it, and if you also use Teams and have lots of one-on-one chats with people, you'll appreciate the ability to tidy up a little bit. So I'll put the links to both those announcements in as well, but you should see those on your Teams tenant from now. So another new thing that's happened for developers in Teams is outgoing webhooks in Teams. Now this is really interesting. So you can now create an outgoing webhook, which what it means is you can access that webhook using the app mention, the same as you would for a bot. But instead of going to a bot and the full bot service and the bot framework, it just calls an endpoint. It's a webhook, and you get a prescribed JSON payload of data telling you everything about the call that's been made, and you can then reply. It's kind of a cut down way of getting some of that kind of simpler bot functionality. If all you're doing is I'll just pause for the announcement because that's probably all you can hear.
This is remote desktop services.
As you can hear, there's a number of different sessions happening. That's remote desktop services in Azure. What was I saying? Outgoing webhooks. Yeah, so it's good. Kind of cut down thing where you just want to say look up an order number, or you want to set a status somewhere, or do something like that. It's kind of fire and forget. You don't want to spin up an entire bot. You don't want to have an entire bot conversation. It's just, I'm going to send you this one thing and I'm going to get one thing back. I don't need to worry about state. I don't need to worry about the state of the conversation. I'm just going to do one thing. Outgoing webhooks are a really good way to do that. They're a much more cut down version. You don't need to maintain an entire web app to do it. That's super interesting. I haven't looked into it in any more detail than that because it's really new, but expect me probably to do a blog post about it, I think, or maybe even a video to kind of show how it works. All right, and the other thing I wanted to tell you about that is kind of new this week is a new book. I don't often talk about books here, but I'm trying to read more books in 2018, and this is definitely one that's going on the list. So it's called The Future Computed, and I'm just going to tell you the two people who wrote it, and that will be your reason to buy the book. I say buy the book. I'm going to come to that in a minute. So one of the authors is Harry Shum, so Enterprise VP of AI and Research, essentially head of research for Microsoft. Very big name in Microsoft, heads up the research division. They've done a ton of work in AI and machine learning over the past kind of 5 or so years, and a lot of that is coming to fruition now. And the other person is Brad Smith, who is Microsoft's Chief Legal Officer. So what this is a kind of melding of AI and legal, so from two people at the top of their game and at the head of the tree at Microsoft, talking about how AI affects legal, how legal affects AI, what the future looks like. So I think it's going to be a really, really good book. The other really good thing about it is that it's free. You can download it. I'll put a link to the notes. It's just like that. You just download it from Microsoft and read it. They really want to get this out there. I think it's definitely worth a read. So if you weren't doing anything else this weekend, download the book, make a start maybe this afternoon, make a start throughout, keep going throughout Friday, and then finish it off over the weekend. Why not? I think it should be a really good book, and it'd be really interesting to see how both Harry and Brad kind of address some of these problems that we're just starting to think about as a society in how AI affects some of the things we do. I mean, the classic, and I say classic, it's actually, I heard a non-technical person explain this to another non-technical person the other day, and that made me realise kind of how much this is permeated into general society. The classic example of self-driving cars having to make life-changing decisions where there's no good answer. Where previously if you'd swerved to avoid somebody and hit someone else, you wouldn't be necessarily blamed for that. It's a kind of spur of the moment unconscious reaction. But in the AI world, that decision has to be calculated and computed ahead of time, and somebody is responsible for that. So, a really interesting field, and something we'll need to work out as we go forward with self-driving cars, but also with AI generally, and the way that AI is coming to everything. All right, so that's me for this week. Have a good day. If you're at the Tech Summit, come and say hello. Although by the time you watch this video it'll be over, so never mind. There's no way I can upload the videos here because the Wi-Fi is actually really good, but the people are many, and they're all heavy smartphone users. So I'm not going to try and upload it today. I'll wait until I get home tomorrow and upload it and release it on the Friday as per normal. Alright, so have a good weekend, and I will speak to you next week.